Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RightVIEWS podcast, a podcast about innovative perspective on capitalism, democracy, and geopolitics. I am Prasanna Naidu, lawyer and founder of Budding Lawyers with Rahul Deodhar, investor, lawyer, and author of the book Subverting Capitalism and Democracy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about Pegasus. Okay, this controversy which has been in the news for about a week, I guess. Okay, so let's start with what is Pegasus. We'll also cover how these spy tech softwares work and why is there so much noise about the software. Because spying is something which is been in work from ages, like from our Raja Maharajas and even before that. So it's not new, and even a small software, even if you think that if you're not in the list of that Pegasus list which leaked, you are not being spied, then it is not like that. Because if you just go into the what you call the policies of any app you use, you'll find that in so many ways they are tracking you. Okay, from your location, your camera, pictures, etc., etc. So we'll get into that, but let's start with what is Pegasus. Okay, Pegasus is built by a Israeli company named NSO. Pegasus is a spyware that infects devices and spies on the victim by transferring data to a master server in an unorganized manner. Okay, and it is claimed that foreign governments, other governments are using these softwares to spy on many journalists, ministers, etc., etc. And there are many. I think 300 names are there. 300 Indians are there in their list, in that list. Okay. Now, how does it work? So Pegasus, in a very basic form, can infect devices that are connected to the internet. Some updated versions, experts claim, can also infect phones even without the victim clicking on any links or messages. Okay, now that's very scary. So you don't have to even do anything. Even if anyone sends a message to you or any link, then that device can be infected. Okay, now how do they enter your device? Okay, so there are many. They disguise as a spy. What do you call? Maybe an antivirus or something like that. So you test it and you install it. So that is one widely known. At least I have read many a times that this is how it happens. And what happens afterwards? Okay, so based on instructions from a remote server, it can automatically turn on your camera and the microphone and look into the chats, contacts, and also data backup. Okay, so even the past record is not safe. So and it can also record speech, access the calendar, read SMSs, emails, etc. So
Keystrokes also.
basically, sorry,
Keystrokes also.
keystrokes. Okay, what is
Yeah.
that?
You type whatever you type, the keys, keystrokes
Okay.
can be.
Even
So
if
your
I don't
passwords are
send,
not.
and even if I type a message and I don't send it, that is recorded.
Yes, yes, yes.
So basically, you can do all the possible things which we can think of, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Rahul sir, why we understood what is it and what it can do, but why 300 Indians on that list, and it is assumed that Indian government is doing the spying. So how do you refute that if you want to, and why is there so much of noise?
There are lots of questions, but
Yeah.
essentially you have to understand that Pegasus, like you explained, is a spyware. Okay, and there are two basically ways of getting it on your phone. First of all, you install it either by clicking a link or accepting some terms and conditions or installing an app which has a backdoor or something of that sort. But in effect, there already has to be some vulnerability created in your phone by you.
Yeah.
This is the first way. Okay.
Hmm.
Now the second way which they are saying in no click. Now I don't believe you can simply send a message and create a no click, um, hack. It's not possible unless there is already an exposed vulnerability open in your phone. Is my understanding. I haven't gone through the scripts, the programming of Pegasus, so I don't know what exactly it does. But it's very difficult to exploit anything without having already built in a backdoor or a vulnerability or exploiting a known uh, bug in a software which is already installed on your phone. So this no click, one of the ways they are saying it was done on Apple iPhones was the bug in the Photos app
Hmm.
or something of that sort. So you can exploit without click, you can exploit a bug, but you cannot install or get access to the device itself, is what I think. But given that, you can assume that Pegasus is an active surveillance tool and being used. It's one thing to say that Pegasus was used, and second thing to say that your government is spying on you. Because there is a huge leap of faith between those two. First of all, I would suspect anyone who is listening to this podcast, or even any random person on the street, if you pick their phone up and you check for malware and spyware of any sort, you will definitely find traces of this malware and spyware on every single phone. Okay.
Hmm.
That does not necessarily mean that this phone was under active surveillance. Now, there are two reasons for this. First is the spyware, the way some spywares are spread is by seeding it across. Like it's like a virus, it keeps spreading, it infects the phone and it is dormant in the phone. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean it is under any surveillance, but it is creating an active vulnerability, which if you want to use, you can just activate. So it is one step, but it is not surveillance yet. So that is one aspect of it. Secondly, if you want to, let's say, definitively say that your government is, has put you under surveillance, you have to put three things in order. First, you have to establish that you are under surveillance. Okay, this fact has to be established. Secondly, it has to be established that you are under surveillance by your own government, not by third party. Okay, suppose Philippines government is surveilling Barkhadat, then Indian government is not responsible. Philippine government is the one who is doing the surveillance for whatever reason. I don't know. Okay, but Philippine government is not bound by any law to prevent them from snooping around on Barkhadat's phone. Okay. Only Indian government is precluded from surveilling Barkhadat because Barkhadat is citizen of India. Okay. The third part is after you have established that or anyone is under surveillance and that the government, their own government is doing surveillance. The third thing you have to establish is that they are doing surveillance without authorization. You can surveil anyone. Anyone can be put under surveillance using due process of law. Suppose I have an information that you are acting as a Maoist informer. I can put you under surveillance. I don't need. I mean, it's not. It's not anti law, or it's not against the law to put you under surveillance. What is required is due process of law has been followed. Given our journalists' integrity, it's possible that they are in connection with many of these spies and, they may be honey trapped. They may be in cahoots with many of these people, touching base with sensitive politically or, on an intelligence basis, they are sensitive people. So, for example, you are in touch with some agent of China or agent of some other country. then because you are in touch with that agent, you are also maybe under automatic surveillance. So that is also possible, and it is authorized by law. So that is not illegal. So that can be authorized. So it's not that you have to be under surveillance, or you are under surveillance. That means your rights are violated. It may be that you are violating certain rights. The second aspect of it is how this study has been done. So first of all, you have to give your phone, or through remotely, you have to let this phone be tested. Forensic testing has to be undertaken by this agency, Amnesty, and their couple of their agencies. One is what is their agency? I forget. So their agencies, those two agencies have to, they have created a software basically to establish whether this phone has been compromised or was under surveillance. So you have to connect your phone to their software through some means, and then you have to actively check with whether this traces of this Pegasus software are found. Now, what they have done is they've created past instances of where Pegasus software was actively found. Okay. And they have sort of understood the modus operandi of the Pegasus software. Now, Pegasus software, what it does is it opens up variety of links and portals across the world, and sort of randomly sends emails and information to certain websites, and through that it is routed back to wherever it was supposed to go. So you don't know the source, where or destination of this information. So for example, suppose there is a important document on your phone which has been accessed by Pegasus. Okay. So this document has been accessed by Pegasus and sent into some website, which is, let's say, they have given some list of websites, but you can say there is a website in Netherlands where it was sent. Then that website in Netherlands sends an email to someone in Armenia. Then the Armenia one sends a email or redirects the website to somewhere in Brazil, and then to some other place, and then to some other place, and it is masked where it is actually going. So you may be an Indian citizen, you are protected against, let's say there was no way or there is no legal authorization to undertake your surveillance. But the information, that file that you have, may not be reaching Indian state itself. So Indian state may not be the one who is undertaking your surveillance. It may be anyone. And that this test, amnesty test, is not able to establish that these journalists were under surveillance by their own government. What they have established is that these phones have some infected, traces of infection. So it's in today's terminology, they have said that you are seropositive, but we can't tell whether you are Delta variant or which variant you have been infected. So we don't know.
Also, is the list with the names exactly leaked? I'm not sure about that.
See, what they have done is, let's say, they have interacted with many journalists and people from NGOs and human rights organizations across many countries, ask them to connect their phone to this software to find the traces.
Okay. So we don't know who is being surveilled, and we even don't know that who are using these services.
So basically what they have done is you come to us. Okay. So Prasanna Naidu goes to this website and checks his phone, and he finds that there are some traces of Pegasus software. That means you have been under surveillance. That's what they are saying. Now, this is not a correct way of doing. The correct way of establishing surveillance is when Indian government database leaks, or a person from Indian surveillance organization, RAW, or whoever is undertaking this surveillance, they come out like Snowden did. Edward Snowden came out and said that this is the transcript, and these are the people who are actually, we are tracking these people. This is their call records. This is their, details. These are the files we have on them. Now that is establishing that not only US government has been undertaking surveillance, but it is establishing that these people were under surveillance by US government and without authorization. So he did all the three
Yeah, but that cost
by coming out.
so much, na? He
Yeah,
had to leave the
that
state. Uh,
yeah, that is, see, but otherwise there is no way to establish. Or you say ki, let's say if I am a spy, I go into Indian government archives or whatever, I hack into those servers and
hmm,
take down the copy. This is the replica of whatever Indian government server has on Barkhadar.
hmm.
Then
Just
that will establish.
out of the way. But Edward had a chance to go to Russia, so he went to Russia. If an Indian diplomat or a spy or officer, whoever wants to leak the data, and if in case the Indian government is spying, okay, unauthorizedly, then what options does he or she has?
Oh, he can go anywhere. All the Western countries will happily, entertain him.
Really?
See, yes. See, US problem was that he was not safe in any of the Western countries. Okay. The only
Hmm.
country where US doesn't reach is Russia, or hopefully doesn't reach. Okay.
I thought you will say
For
China. They can go
no,
to
no,
Indian
he can go
servers to China.
anywhere. No, no, China is not required. It's not, he can go and live in, like all our anti-nationals, they are living in these places like Canada, US, UK. They can live anywhere. Indian state is incompetent when it comes to murdering. See, it takes someone like Russia who will use a special concocted mix of polonium or whatever plutonium mix poison, and he will poison the fellow. And then, later when the person doesn't die, he says, you can say, we didn't poison him. Why? Because if we would have poisoned him, he would have been dead. That's the level that is required. Indians, we don't have that competency. Anyways, so they can go anywhere.
Hmm.
So that's not the problem. Indian state is not that active. And
Okay.
particularly if you say, ki, I have revealed this Indian government spying on Indian citizens, boss, you will be a hero in Western countries. They want someone anti-Modi to tout, right?
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, you can continue. You were saying something.
Yeah, so basically, the way that they have tested this is very simplified testing that doesn't tell you much. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, that's why Amnesty themselves have said that we have only said that these may be. We are not sure. And that's why this whole thing did not catch any, weight per se. Because if you really want to establish surveillance, then there's a way to do it. And this is not the way. This is like any phone you take, you will find some, thing. And I have a suspicion that now Amnesty, that code, whatever they use to check the phones, that itself will have infected the phones.
Hmm.
Okay. There is a good chance that there will be, because to see, for example, if I write a malicious code, so malicious code, let's say, is 10 lines. To detect that malicious code, you will need to write a 40-line code.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, if Pegasus is what they say, it is as complicated as it is,
Hmm.
then this code will be itself running into thousands of lines.
Why would
I'm
Amnesty
sure,
do that?
huh?
Why would
Amnesty
Amnesty?
won't do that. See, Amnesty would. That's what happens. See, this
Hmm.
is how this uh, vulnerabilities crop up. There is a free repository of code. Okay,
Right.
so it can be sourced from online. So if I
Hmm.
want the search function in this particular language, let's say you want to use Ruby on Rails or something, I want to use specific search function, specific design function, I can copy that code from online.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
There is a GitHub, there is another, many such repositories are there
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
can copy this. Now most of the people copy paste.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, people who copy paste don't really give a thought to what exactly is in the code.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Now, many of these codes automatically embed certain things into your device. Okay. It could be simple thing that it advertises the person, okay, who has written the code. Sometimes it is just a comment in the code which you never see. Okay. The comment in the code which says this code was created by Prasanna Naidu. This is a comment hidden in the code. Nobody sees it. Only another programmer, when he starts reading or editing the code, he sees that this code was written by Prasanna Naidu. So if he wants, he can talk to you, and his email address and all is written there. Okay. So your email address will be written. Your history will be written. If you like, let's say you like Superman, then Prasanna Naidu loves Superman. Something will be written. So all these things programmers do. Okay. But that is in the code, and nobody really checks it. And then when you copy paste, so I copy one part from this, one part from that, and then I make something, I put it on the GitHub or some other website. Someone else copies it, and the malicious code, which is 2-line, 3-line, which invokes certain program from a web server, that gets incorporated. Now, if it's a 1-line invoking, call this program and run this file, nobody will suspect. In 1,000 lines, try detecting one error, which is purely good working code. Okay, if it's an error, if it doesn't work, then you will know, why is it not working? This is a malicious code. Let's remove it. But if it is working fine, you will not even know, because it won't even pop up as an error. So it will get added to multiple places for no reason. So this is how vulnerabilities get created, and that is why it is very critical to sort of, like we have been suggesting, even in earlier, we did one episode on hacking, cyber war. So all our phones and everything is not safe. So that is the principle of hacking. If the hacker is smart, he will get access to you and your information and everything. They don't need Pegasus kind of software, and they don't basically, like in the movies they show, he opens a keyboard and just starts typing like crazy, and all the program from memory he types. It's not like that. Usually hackers work by calling you up, saying, what is your mother's birth date? You have been sending this cake. There is no mother's birth date on this. You have not sent? Oh, sorry, it's a wrong number. Something like that. And that's how they verify.
Yeah. We have information. They offer discount coupon. They send us your details.
Yes. This flower bouquet, send this flower bouquet to your mother free. Thanks to some, if you have done business, let's say you have done business with Amazon, which many people would have done. Thanks to Amazon, this new offer is there. To click this link to avail this offer, enter your mother's birth date and next day, and they will send a bouquet.
Yeah,
it's not even
This was just a few months ago. I received a link saying Flipkart ka something offer, and when I clicked on that link, that website was completely duplicate copy of that Flipkart website. Just there was some change in the logo. That's it. And the offers were like almost 50% of what it's there in the original website. Like for 20,000 mobile phone would be for 5,000 or 10,000, something like that. It was unbelievable to me because this website was did to same like Flipkart. One who would have not been a bit suspicious about it and checked it properly, like the logo and all, I'm sure that many people would have bought it from that site.
No, but that is because the hacker was not very, sophisticated. See, what he would have done is he would have kept prices of all the phones same as the original website.
Yeah, their intention was to take money. The hacker's intention is to get data. So obviously he
no. That is not what I'm saying. If I want to take money, I will want to get your details, right? So that's what I want. I don't want anything else. So this is what, in fact, the most sophisticated credit card fraud is not detected, because what they do is, if you go, you have a database of 100,000 cards, okay, and you, when you get the database, you are not, this is one time sale, you get the details one time, and that's it. That cards are not sold again. And then when you use them, how to use them? You apply a 10 rupee charge on your card, saying ki some transaction tax, something, random words you have to add, and then say ki 10 rupees deducted. And you have to do it like every month. And this will continue for 100,000 cards. You will be able to get 10 rupees or 100 rupees or 50 rupees, and do random. You don't say ki, exact 10. Do something 11.26. Sometimes you do 9.06. Some random number you put. People think ki, maybe it is. Okay.
Some tax, some surcharge, something.
For 10 rupees, are you going to fight? And then, you think, maybe, I don't know, I don't remember. Or if you're in your credit card bill or transaction, you have 50 transaction of Starbucks. Okay. You add one more. Saying ki Starbucks, something, and only add like 10 rupees or 5 rupees or something like random. Like you must have taken some water or something. You don't really, it doesn't really bother you, what 10 rupees must have been something. And that's how, without, it, you have seen the transaction. But because you are not, triggered, they can take advantage of you. This is how hackers work. And they don't work like what they show in the movies or like this, where everything is trace is sent. You will be not even aware of that you've been hacked. Then there are those ransomwares and those disruptive things which, they are just people having fun. They're just kids mostly having fun. Let me disturb his
or
phone.
the state. Or the state.
Yeah, incompetent state. Like, we definitely can do that. But if someone is buying a Pegasus software and they are intent on hacking, they will use more sophisticated tools, and you will be hacked without, really. There are much easier ways without being caught than, leaving such traces. So I'm not saying they were not hacked. Okay, the fact that they were under surveillance may not be truly established just by saying that there are some links and some behavior your phone is expressing. Because the same code, Pegasus must have copied some code from the web. That same code must be there in some other 50 apps.
Right.
Okay. So those apps may also be sending some data somewhere. Okay. So it's not necessary that Pegasus alone is doing this. Maybe there are some other apps also. So it's a far-fetched things. So I mean, it can be that Pegasus it's only Pegasus who does it. But still, that doesn't mean that actually surveillance. And once you update the software, the surveillance stops, because the software doesn't, the operating system doesn't allow you to do the surveillance. So Pegasus can actually do surveillance only in jailbroken iPhones and Androids, meaning complete, despite thing,
Despite
so if you are
the updated version.
No, once you jailbroken cannot be updated.
Okay.
Because once you update it, it becomes bricked. So if your software is being updated, that doesn't mean may have, but it doesn't mean you're on active surveillance.
Okay.
And then there might be a trial. You might have tried, not access. So we don't know whether there was active surveillance. The factum of surveillance has not been completely established. A possibility is there, yes, but that possibility will be on every phone. There will be something or the other on every phone. I am under surveillance, because any app Facebook, WhatsApp, they themselves do surveillance. They have access to all your calls and whatever, so that is not a big deal. So the factum of surveillance has to be established, that the Indian state or your own state is doing the surveillance has to be established, and that it has also to be established that they don't have authorization. Imagine the problem if tomorrow someone like Barkhadat goes to the court saying I have been surveyed by Indian state, and Indian state produces an affidavit she has links with 50 spies. Then it will be bad, right? It will be death by your own hand. So there are lots of variables, from establishing that there are traces of spyware in your phone to that my own government is putting freedom of democracy and free speech, and this is under threat. That whole there's a big divide to cross.
Okay. From what I know and understand, it is practically impossible to be 100% proof from these hacks and or being surveilled, because we are using so many apps from, and we are multiple devices also, most of us. So it's quite impossible. But obviously there will be certain things which if we follow, it will be a bit difficult for hackers or people who try to surveil us, right? So what are those things which are must follow things?
See, first of all, if someone wants to hack you, and some intelligent, really smart hacker is after your data, they will get it. Okay. So the only thing you can do is you have to be vigilant. So just like we are vigilant when we walk in the dark, streets. We are vigilant that some pickpocket is not going to pick our pocket. The same way we need cyber vigilance. And cyber vigilance means that if someone sends you a message, I'm sending you a bouquet for your birthday. What is your birthday? That means you will not share your birthday unless you know the person. Okay. That means that if boys get friend requests from beautiful girls saying I really like you or something, and they have no clue who she is, they should not start connecting immediately. It means that when when you say free Wi-Fi and you happily join the Wi-Fi, it means that there will be some cost.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. Then finally, one of the important things that people miss out is, and this is particularly relevant for most of our parents, is that whenever software update is triggered by your phone or computer, please update. Okay. Don't say later, because that later never comes, and that leaves some vulnerability open. It could be Word. You could be Microsoft maybe triggering update Word and PowerPoint, which is not really, you are not using it, but still update it. The vulnerabilities don't get activated when you open the software. The vulnerabilities are always active so long as the software is on your device. So whenever there is a chance that they're saying update the software, which is trustworthy software, only then update it. Like if the Google is saying update Android, then update the Android. If Apple is saying iOS update, do that update.
Yeah.
And then mostly what happens is people write their passwords in your text or whatever notes app or some kind of a text app. I will write all my passwords. If you have done that, then you are bound to get hacked. Okay. And you will lose that data because that is not even password protected.
Yeah. So there are certain password managers which we can use.
Yes.
Because
So
it is
only
quite.
use password, but password managers also only use trustworthy ones. So for some of them, they're free. Okay.
Right.
You have to assume that generally free is not good. So if you are using, let's say, a Firefox, Mozilla Foundation has a password manager. So that is free because it is, they update it and it's run by the foundation. So it's public source. Okay, open source software. So if such something like that is there, you know that it's trustworthy, then you can try it. It doesn't mean it is foolproof.
Obviously,
but
it's better.
It's better than writing it on a notepad file or text file and leaving it on your messages or WhatsApp. Let it be gone. And then particularly apps of which we don't know, they have to be monitored because these apps are very dangerous. These I am always suspect these games which are there. On I find a lot of lawyers playing games. Okay, and making high scores. If the game is that you are making high score every other day, it's truly something, it's not a real game. Maybe it's just there to hack your information. But anyways, and I've seen very senior advocates also playing these kinds of games instead of paying attention in the court. But they have to be careful. I'm sure, I think budding lawyers should do an episode of not playing game when court is on.
Sure, let's see. I was actually planning to do some live streams about gaming while playing games.
But not while court is on.
Obviously.
This is because I'm sitting in the court, I'm listening to the judge, and the fellow is saying, I made my new high score. Have some shame.
Okay, reminds me of pre-COVID days. Okay, and one thing which I have been practicing about a year or so is that whenever you download an application, you get that option to you need to give this permission to, like, this app needs permission to access this, your camera, your location, etc., etc. Then don't just accept. Go through it. What permission it is asking, because many a times if you deselect many things and still accept, the app will work. It's just as Rahul sir, you said that they copy this source code from some GitHub and all, so it's already there. So they don't check and go through it. So they are using the source code of some other app which actually required the location ka thing, and this app doesn't require it, but it's still selected, and you are randomly being surveyed. You are sharing your location and other data with them, and sometimes maybe even that app didn't even know that they are accessing this data.
No, this is very important point that you've brought in. People just do yes, and what if I'm thinking of sort of making an app which asks you for permission of access bank account, withdraw money, and all this, and just see how many people click yes. You are allowed to do everything, and then people say yes because people really don't read anything. Something as simple as drawing app. Okay.
Some productivity app, like a taking app. Why would it require your location?
Location, yeah. They want location, real-time update of location required. Yes. Bank account details required. Yes. Permission to withdraw, money up to $1 million. Yes. On. What else? People just. And then
I kind of sympathize. I understand things because we have so many things, and we have within the mobile also we are using so many things, so many apps. So I'm not saying that you must read each and every privacy policy of that particular app. It's huge, it's long, and I understand that. But these things, there are usually 4-5 things automatically selected. that this app needs permission to access this. You can just have a glance and just deselect. It will take within like few seconds, and it will save a lot of things of your data. So I think that
Look,
we can.
one of this app, chess app. Okay, one app which is for chess playing.
Yeah.
That wanted access to my messages, contacts, location. For what? What is messages require? Photos. I mean, what are you going to do? Am I going to change the photo of the king and pawn? And sometimes if I'm playing well, it will change the photo of pawn. You're a pawn. You are not the king.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know what. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. That's very important point that you've. It's very critical that you say yes, 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 and then you worry that my phone has got some surveillance going on.
Crazy. Okay, so I think we have covered a lot of stuff regarding this topic, and let's see what happens next. What if there are any names really leaked, or governments involved leaked? This information is leaked. Let's see. It sounds interesting to me. And by the way, if you all have not checked out our previous episodes, do check it out. It's available on YouTube and all other podcast platforms like iTunes, Spotify, etc. And do tweet us or let us know if you want us to cover certain topics. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.